And now we're going to move into Q&A. If you haven't done so already, I would recommend if you got a Twitter account, do @MM_seminars. Again, @MM_seminars, or click on the live video chat and ask us online, the online chat. So now we're just going to open it up. Is there any specific questions that have not been asked yet, or that you need help with in terms of helping you overcome the biggest challenge you currently have? Maybe it's time in leadership. Maybe it's being able to lead people. It's something along those lines. Maybe it's the personality masteries. Maybe something in the 530 grid, and maybe it's the natural laws. So we're going to open it up. Does anyone have any questions about any of those three segments that we've covered that you'd like further clarification?
Yeah, I have a question. On that personality masteries, you talked about...
Hey, Barb, Hey, Barb, we're having a hard time hearing you. Could you please speak up?
Is that better?
That's better. A little bit more.
Okay.
Great.
Is that really good?
That's great. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is, I know the personality masteries works well with business, but what about in a nonprofit or some other volunteer thing that I'm working in?
Yeah, great question. Cheryl, do you have any insights for us? Mark?
To me, personality, knowing anybody's personality works across the board. Works in your personal life, works in, nonprofits, talks to anybody you're speaking with on the phone. You don't have to meet them face to face. If you know what personality is that you're talking to, you'll get more accomplished. So don't be afraid. Ask the question about the shapes.
Thank you.
I would say, Barb, anything having to do with people, so spouse, children, friends, family, brothers, sisters, nonprofit, community, donors, volunteers, contributors, clients, everything. When we understand the deep science of personality masteries, and Life Masteries Institute, a nonprofit organization, they have a great online course that people that have gone through it are just, they're just blown away by how much they learn. And you can get to that course by going to www.dnaforsuccess.com and then go to solutions and then go to online courses. And you'll find that and a number of other courses there. But when we understand the different personalities, Barb, and our own first and foremost, we understand why we do what we do. Not what we do, but why we do what we do. We're able to more clearly see our own prejudice. And when we see our own prejudice, then we're able to help other people with maybe their prejudice. Often we'll see other people's hypocrisy or their flaws in their ways of thinking, but we don't see our own. And if we don't see our own, probably most likely, Barb, we're not going to do a real good job in communicating maybe other people's flaws in their thinking until we understand the limitation and the flaws in our thinking. Matt Maple, he's got an amazing company that's working with companies in HR and organizations. So how do you take all your employees? How do you help your contributors, your volunteers? And how do you build systems that are based on the personality masteries to help people understand and come together and use the different energies within personality masteries to really leverage all of our gifts to the maximum benefit for mutual win-win-win beneficial situations.
Got it.
Excellent.
Hey,
thank you.
Hey, I've got a question, Kevin. So I'm going to go back to this because I want to go back to this question about the leadership and giving responsibility to team and other members outside of the company, for example. So, and what I want to know is, how does the leader know? I guess my question is, how does the leader know or make a decision on on that could potentially have really serious consequences for the health and well-being of the company.
So which of the four personalities is making that conclusion that it's very significant?
Well, I wouldn't know. I guess it would be. Yeah, I don't know.
Analytic, often amiable, often. So often the level 1 and 2 frequencies, what they think is significant may not be nearly as significant as what they think it is. But there's always at least one or two situations that they said were significant, nobody believed them. And sure enough, it was significant and there was a big price. But they somehow, and I don't understand how, but they somehow forget the millions of times that they thought it was significant, and it never really was significant. So a lot of times 1 and 2 totally overreact to how significant things they think they are when they're really not. Now, 3 and 4 will often underreact, although 4 will overreact to control. So if they feel that control is going to be lost, they will be very, very overreactive on that. And at some point, to make a breakthrough dimensionally for them, they actually learn that the best way to gain control is to lose control. So sometimes in leadership, the best way to learn, the best way for the people that we're leading to learn is to fail. Has the leader done a good job in helping the person take ownership of that? Often leaders forget all the mistakes that they've made and they've somehow survived. And so have they, taught the person to take ownership? Have they modeled and demonstrated that? And then ideally to clean up your own mess as well. If somebody is managing up and out all along the way, it's really, really hard to make a mistake. So, for example, if somebody on the 530 grid was, applying, I don't know, just hypothetically something to Cincinnati, maybe architects in Cincinnati, if somebody was saying, here are the targets and managing up and out, a good leader is going to be like, look through the targets and know, okay, that one right there, might not want to go after that one. If they're managing up and out to develop and deliver a message, then the leader can go ahead and look and say, is that a great message, terrible message? How confident am I going to be in that it won't work? So if they're managing up and out, Alan, all along the way, you greatly reduce any possibility of error or catching it very quickly and making it, right.
Mark, let me just interject real quick for those of us who are online, people that may not understand what up and out means. What are the 3 or 4 questions you would up and out to your leader or as a leader when you've learned something? What are the questions you might want to answer?
Sure. So the foundation of up and out is, so I'm reading a white paper, I'm hearing direction, I'm, watching a video, I've been to a seminar or something, you're my leader, Kevin, and I go ahead and say, this is what I've learned.
Okay.
1. 2, this is the action I'm going to take from what I learned.
Right.
And then 3 is, what do I need to learn next? Now, more advanced up and out, if you're working on a project, it might be, here's the steps I've taken, here's the results that it's produced, and this is what I think, I need, the actions I need to take. And maybe if you have a leader that really likes to know everything, you might say, this is why I think I'm taking the actions I am. And so it's essentially communicating the past, the present, and the future. And a good leader can look at that in seconds and say, you know what, I'm not sure that's the best thing. But it's like a toddler. They're going to fall. That's
right.
Part of life. They're not by a cliff, and they're not by a scissors.
Right.
Right. It's fine. They'll fall and they'll bruise and they'll learn. A good leader will be able to get a sense and allow the people around them to fail with little things, so when they get to the big things, they won't make the failure.
Gotcha. Alan, does that answer your question or not so much?
Well, not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any ideas, Kevin, why not so much? Like, what would you recommend?
I'm thinking.
There's this book out there, How to Be the Best Student in the World. And if Alan went ahead and read that, I think, and really drilled in deeper, I think if he really drilled in deeper to that book, I think that it would reveal some really cool, exciting things.
Yeah, I've heard about that book.
It's a good one. I'm telling you. That's a life changer. Yeah.
Not what I've heard.
Oh, my goodness. We're almost out of time here, but thank you so much for your questions. Thank you so much for the contributions that you've all been making today. In conclusion, I just want to again thank Mark and Cheryl, Rosanna, Alan, Barb, everyone who's participated here on the call. Thank you that you are tweeting the questions at mm_seminars.